Rolling right now?
Rolling. That's right, Bob.
All right. Well, hi, I'm Bob Burns, and this is World City News. In regards to Brazil, informal settlements are considered an intrusion of the middle and upper class by the lower class. As a developing country, Brazil's upper class maintains an extreme level of control over the country's wealth. In spite of this unfair distribution of income, education nearing peaks as the international organization UNESCO supports a near universal access to primary education over the last 20 years. According to the IBGE, unemployment is trending downward despite the slight increase between January and February of 2015. Over the last 10 years, Brazil saw its record low of a 4.3% decrease in December of 2013. The annual growth rate has decreased to an astonishing 0.9%, and with the national population of just more than 200 million residents, Brazil is considered the 5th largest country in the world. Now to Diane Rivers with the news.
It's Kelly Rivers on the Middle East. We're going to focus in today on Amman, Jordan, and talk about some informal settlements. Most of these are located in East Amman, and due to the relatively successful economy, informal settlements do not plague the citizens as much as they plague the refugees. The only true form of informal settlements come from refugee camps, especially the Syrian refugee camps, as a majority have not been granted full citizenship, and it is a struggle to legally find work. Looking at the Al-Rasafai district, only 44% of school-aged children are able to attend school, the main reason being lack of funds to send the children to school. 45.1% of the 1,471 refugees reported health issues in May of 2014. 89% live in a tent, 11% live in a makeshift tent. 91.2% of households report a lack of food, and the predominant food source is charity. Now focusing in on primary education in Amman. Jordan ranks #1 in the Arab world for education, and Amman particularly has a 98% primary school attendance rate, a 97% transition rate from primary education to secondary education, and secondary education has an 85% transition rate to higher education. The adult literacy rate is 95.5%. And the Jordanian Ministry of Education is now making it mandatory for students to become computer literate and able to apply their studies of computers to their regular studies, especially in scientific and mathematic courses. Now on unemployment in Amman. The unemployment rate in 2015 is 12.2%. Unfortunately, youth unemployment is at 32%, and as 60% of the Jordanian population is under the age of 30, this leads to large economic issues. Unemployment is actually higher for youth with a college degree. Even though the rise of foreign investments in Amman create more job opportunities for these students. In simpler words, the higher education system in Jordan is not preparing the students for work. The gender gap is also a problem in unemployment for the youth, as many women are now getting a higher education, but only a handful of companies are willing to hire women for leadership positions due to a heavy gender bias in the region. Now on population trends in Amman. The population of Amman is 1,000 times as it was in 1909 when the municipality was established. The population growth is now at about 4% per year. There is a very high fertility rate at 3.61 children born per woman, as female discrimination has discouraged lots of women from entering the workplace. It is a very young population, the median age being around 22, and from 0 to 14 years, that age demographic makes up about 35% of the population. This emphasis on youth unemployment is particularly frightening due to these demographics. And that's Amon Jordan.
Thank you, Roberta. And now we're going to shift to the Sports Center in Sydney, Australia.
Hi, I'm Mike McCall, reporting live from Sydney, Australia. Fun fact, I used to have a fear of hurdles, but I got over it. Anyways, Sydney is a city full of policies and programs. When it comes to unemployment, there's many policies that were created to dish and assist to those having troubles finding work. There's the New Start Allowance, which provides financial support to people of at least 25 years of age who are actively seeking work. Youth Allowance assists 16 to 22-year-olds looking for work. Parenting Payment provides payment to the care of a child who needs assistance. To qualify for this, however, in a single-parent household, the child must be no older than 8 years of age. In a dual-parent household, the child must not be any older than 6 years of age. Those are three of the many programs that the city offers. Let's just say Sydney loves to lob programs at its citizens for the slam dunk. Sydney has a high adult literacy rate and a high average education level, which means that they do a lot to promote good education beginning at the primary levels. The School Education Act requires compulsory age students to attend school or participate in an educational program of a school. Also, Australia's Students at Educational Risk Policy, is established to provide for, mentor, and report on students who may be at educational risk. All this speaking is making me hungry. I could go for some curry, no stuffing. Australia experiences a 1.8% increase in population annually. In order to accommodate this, the Suburban Jobs Initiative and Sustainable Regional Development Programs were created. The Suburban Job Initiative is a $45 million project intended to drive the development of more government jobs and job opportunities within reach of people living in suburban areas. The Sustainable Regional Development Program provides $29.2 million to support sustainability planning in regions experiencing high growth. Unfortunately, informal settlements and squatters receive little recognition. There are no programs that exist for this. However, I'm sure that it will eventually be a goal for the city to create programs. It's just now that Sydney has more goals than Germany versus Brazil in the World Cup. That's it for my segment. Now to Susan Gale with the weather.
Thank you. I'm Susan Gale, weather anchor for World City News, reporting live from Karachi, Pakistan. The air from here isn't smelling too clean because of the poor sanitation and open sewage lines coming off of the closest informal settlement. Informal settlements here in Karachi are known as Kachi-abadis and are, for the most part, regularized by the government. But there are also slums in the city that are so densely populated by working-class families that their infrastructure is nearly collapsed. There are Kachi-abadis all over the city, but are most congested in West Karachi, with Kachi-abadis such as Orangi, with over 1 million residents. Education in Karachi and Pakistan in general is subpar, as the Pakistani government only spends 2.5% of its national GDP on education. Karachi is a part of the Sindh province, which only has 13,000 primary schools and only 2,500 in the entire city of Karachi. Pakistan has a 72% primary school enrollment rate, with 70% male attendance rate and a 62.3% female rate. And the adult literacy rate is at 55% compared to a 95.5% literacy rate for Jordan, a fellow Middle Eastern country. Hopefully, the horrible percentages will increase as the population ages, with compulsory education for children ages 5 to 16. The unemployment rate of the Sindh province reflects the numbers of its uneducated workforce, with 5% total unemployment rate as of 2013. This is compared to Oman at 12.2% and Brazil at 4.5%. Its unemployment rate is reasonable, but it isn't lower due to an influx of due to a high population and an undereducated workforce. Despite the drawbacks, Karachi as a city is very promising. It is the second largest city and will be the largest by 2030. This is mainly due to the 45,000 rural to urban migrants that come to Karachi every month. With 11% of its population under 18, Karachi is definitely a rising tide to watch out for.